The year is 2026. A year that feels less like a destination and more like a collision point, where the jagged edges of the past finally lock into the smooth, chrome contours of our present. Deep in the subterranean levels of the British Library, surrounded by the quiet hum of climate control, sits a woman named Ilara Vance. She isn't your typical historian. Ilara is in an age where AI can summarize a century of text in a nanosecond. Her job is to spot the ghosts in the machine, the illogical, emotional, and uncanny predictions that algorithms dismiss as just noise. Her current assignment is called the Convergence of 26. For decades, scholars have noticed a bizarre statistical anomaly, a strange number of obscure diaries, scientific journals, and even architectural blueprints from the last 300 years. All point, with frightening precision, to the mid-2020s. The first echo comes from the fevered mind of Elias Thorne, a French engineer laughed out of the Academy of Sciences in Paris, just before the revolution. Thorne was obsessed with the sky. While others were toying with hot air balloons, Thorne was thinking about logistics. Ilara carefully spreads the ancient blueprint across a digital table. The paper smells of centuries-old rag and ink. The drawing depicts an impossibly tall, spindly spire, piercing the clouds. Near the top, circular platforms jute out like mushrooms. He called them the ether. In his erratic handwriting, the margin notes are chilling. A time shall come, precisely 2 centuries, and to score hence, when the carriage of goods shall abandon the cobblestone. The city streets will be for walking. The sky will be for commerce. The iron birds, uncrewed and guided by the invisible hand of the wind spirit, will require roosts above the fog. Ilara swipes her hand, bringing up a live holographic feed of the Manhattan skyline in 2026. Dominating the horizon is the brand new Apex Logistics Spire. It's not an office building. It's a vertical warehouse. And there, near the summit, are the drone hive circular docking bays, where thousands of autonomous delivery drones buzz in and out, carrying everything from groceries to medical supplies. The visual match is terrifying. Thorne's ether ducts aren't just similar. They are structurally identical. He even predicted the invisible hand, not the wind, but the air traffic control AI that guides the 2026 drone swarms. It's nicknamed the Spirit by engineers. Thorne didn't just draw a building. He saw the logistical architecture of a world he couldn't possibly understand. He pinned the date to 2 centuries, and to score 240 years, aligning perfectly with the delivery revolution of the mid-2020s. Ilara types in her log. The Thorne blueprint aligns with the Apex logistics infrastructure. The architecture of 2026 was dreamed in 1784. Next, she moves to the field journal of Beatrice Vane, a Victorian naturalist who spent 5 years alone in the Amazon basin, while her peers were shooting tigers. Beatrice was obsessed with the unseen workers of the jungle, the rot, the decay, the moss. The journal is water damaged, but a sketch on page 114 is crystal clear. It shows a 3-toed sloth, its fur thick with green algae and moss. Beatrice wrote, "I have observed this sloth engaging in a behavior that defies natural law. It rubs its fur against the resin of the rubber trees. The moss on its back seems to react to the hardened sap, the solbing italiano. I have had a vision a century and a half from now, when the world is choked by a material not of nature's making. This slow creature shall be the savior. The slow mover shall eat the poison of the quick makers." Ilara cross-references this with the top scientific headlines of March 2026. Headline flashes in bold red. Breakthrough in Amazon. Bioengineers isolate plastic-eating enzyme in sloth fur symbiotes. The world is drowning in microplastics. For decades, scientists have looked for a solution. In early 2026, a team in Brazil discovered that a specific subspecies of sloth, adapted to living near illegal waste dumps, carries a unique strain of bacteria and algae in its fur. This super moss has evolved to digest polyethylene plastic. Beatrice Vane called it the poison of the quick makers. She couldn't have known what plastic was. Yet she saw a hardened sap, a polymer being dissolved. She predicted the slow, overlooked sloth would solve the problem created by the quick industrial world. The timing and the details are precise. Beatrice had seen the biological evolution of 2026 through the lens of Victorian botany. Nature does not forget, her journal reads. She merely waits for us to make a mess she can eat. The final artifact is the most unsettling. It's a tape recording from a disgraced computer scientist, Dr. Aris Kogan, from 1963. He was fired for unscientific speculation, believing computers would become external memory banks for the human soul. Ilara plays the audio. Kogan's crackly voice fills the room. Testing. November 22nd, 1963. The world is obsessed with the assassination in Dallas, but I am looking further. I see the year 2026. I see the great externalization. By that year, the human mind will no longer store facts. We will outsource our hippocampus to the machine. But the machine will not just store. It will create. In 2026, we will see the first case of digital reincarnation. The tape hits. A man will die, but his voice will speak new words. We will conquer death not by biology, but by data. The echo will become the voice. Ilara shivers and looks at her newsfeed. Just 2 weeks ago, a tech company launched Project Anima IDS, an AI service where grieving families upload the entire digital footprint of a deceased loved one, emails, texts, voice notes. The AI then creates a living avatar that can hold new conversations, offering advice based on the person's personality. The first public demonstration was on live television. A widow speaking to her husband, who died in 2024. The avatar didn't just repeat old lines. It generated new, statistically indistinguishable thoughts. Kogan predicted digital reincarnation. He predicted the great externalization, our modern reliance on the cloud for memory. He even saw the ethical dilemma. The echo will become the voice. Right now, in 2026, courts are battling over whether an AI echo has rights. Kogan had foreseen the philosophical crisis of the 21st century from a lab in 1963. Ilara leans back, the weight of the three predictions pressing down on her. Thorne predicted the physical landscape of 2026. Vane predicted the biological landscape. Kogan predicted the psychological landscape. Three unconnected people, separated by centuries, triangulated the exact coordinates of today. But why? 2026. She realizes they weren't just random guesses. They were observations of trajectory. Thorne saw overcrowding and knew the only way was up. Vane saw nature's resilience and knew it would adapt to our waste. Kogan saw our dependency on tools and knew our minds would eventually merge with them. 2026 was simply the boiling point. The year that drone technology, bioengineering, and AI finally caught up to the human imagination. But there's one final document in the folder, a sealed envelope from a defunct think tank from the 1920s. She opens it. Inside is a single index card with a drawing of a calendar. The date circled is July 16th, 2026. The note reads, the silence breaks. July 16th is just 3 months away. Thorne, Vane, and Kogan. We're all right. If the pattern holds, this fourth prediction is also true. But what does it mean? First contact. A new energy source. Something else. Entirely. The world outside is buzzing with drones. The jungles are quietly eating our plastic, and the dead are speaking through servers. The echoes of tomorrow have already arrived. History books aren't records of the past. They're spoilers for the present. Ilara opens a new email to her director. Subject: the 2026 Convergence Analysis. Status: verified. Conclusion: we are living in the world they dreamed. We must prepare for July. She walks to the window. In the gray London sky, a delivery drone hovers, looking exactly like the sketch Thorne drew 242 years ago. The past isn't dead. It was just waiting for us to catch up. Thanks for watching. What do you think happens on July 16th? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more strange stories from the archives.